As a Brit, I don't quite understand the whole Great American feel. But I'm sure JBL does. And as your WWE champion, he wants to be the Great American.
Everywhere I go, there's nowhere I belong. And anyone should tell me where will I find? 'Cause everywhere I go, I'm always on my own. Can anyone just catch me before I drown? Can anybody make me feel like I'm not the stranger tonight?
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 04 War, and the Great American Bash is here. We're in Houston, Texas for this tonight. This is going to be a big one. We've got big matches across the card. You've got, of course, the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Randy Orton defending against John Cena. We got the US title on the line. RVD in a triple threat defending that belt against two men of the same stable in CM Punk and Shelton Benjamin. Tag titles are on the line. We've also got big grudge matches. We've also got a bull rope match, a Texas bull rope match to be precise, in the main event. This isn't one you want to miss. I'm telling you now, you are going to enjoy it. If you are ready and excited, drop a like on the video right now to let me know, and we will get on. Great American Bash, come on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas, for the Great American Bash. We open on the pre-show. Daniel Bryan, yes, we've renamed him, defeating Chuck Palumbo by submission. Bryan outperforming Chuck, by the way. Love that. A 54 from Bryan and a 43 from Palumbo. Good. Yeah, Bryan getting a big win on the pre-show. Hopefully that'll help him in Texas. I can reveal, for anyone wondering, on the following Monday Night Raw, aka tomorrow's Raw, but the video will be next week probably. Daniel Bryan will debut on Raw, make his official TV debut as part of the King of the Ring tournament. So this is a good start for him.
The question is, with that, who's he going to face? Obviously, have to find out.
Who's he going to face? We'll find out. It's 54, good stuff. Also on the pre-show, we did an 8-man tag and a win for Booker, AJ, and the Dudley Boys for 71. Booker's 71 in there, Booker's got an 84.
I mean, I was going to say the Bash was winning. That's why it's getting the better score.
Clearly. 71, good pre-show match. AJ Styles gets the win over Shannon Moore with the Styles Clash. Booker head and shoulders above everyone else, like we say. But everyone else is similar level. AJ outperforming Bubba Ray, which is quite interesting. Devon outperforming the two of them, 66.
If only I had AJ Styles on Smackdown, but there's a match there. I can see how I can try. I didn't win, so that sucks. But anyway, that's 71 out of pre-show match. Very good.
Solid, very good. We're going to open the show with a video package for a 99. That's a good start to the show.
That's obviously because of Lance Storm. Nothing, nobody else.
Really hot stories going in with Taker and Lesnar, JBL and Shawn, Eddie and Edge, Triple H and Lance Storm. So those are the guys we chose. 99. Very good start. Then the music of the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena hits and he raps his way to the ring. I'm not doing the rap. I can't do it.
Come on.
No. Something along the lines of Orton's not the future. He's got a tiny dick. Something else. Something.
Okay. I mean,
you get the point.
That's not bad for improv on the
Yeah. A 91 from Cena though.
This match is going to be either.
I'll be honest. This is Dark Horse for Match of the Night. It is opening...
Or the month.
Oh, yeah, opening the show. Randy Orton defends the WWE Intercontinental Championship against John Cena. Now, let me take you back to WrestleMania when Randy Orton successfully defended the Intercontinental title in a fatal 4-way elimination match. John Cena was part of that match. He eliminated Booker T. He eliminated Goldberg, but then fell to an RKO out of nowhere. Tonight it's 1-on-1. Tonight Cena gets his opportunity. Randy Orton has had a good run since December with the championship. He's beaten some good guys, right, Stu? You're talking Booker T. He's defeated the now current WWE champion in this reign. You know, he's defeated a lot of top talent. Your winner. And new WWE Intercontinental Champion John Cena for an 84. It's not a terrible start to the show. It's not what it could be. Randy Orton with a 92. Cena with an 87. They had really good chemistry.
So why is Cena off his game?
Cena was off his game. That's the problem. But even off his game, he put in an 87. Orton a 92. 84 is a little bit harsh if you ask me.
Would say, yeah.
Yeah, done to a hot crowd, which helped. I can't explain the 84, but a huge title change. Let me talk you through what I've got for the finish. We're trying to protect Orton here. So we've got the idea that Cena hits an FU midway through the match. For the 1, the 2, but Orton kicks out. Orton goes for the RKO. Cena counters. Flair tries to get involved. The referee throws Flair and Batista to the back. Orton goes for another RKO. Cena escapes again. Cena picks Orton up and second FU. 1, 2, 3. It's very important. Randy Orton does not hit the RKO.
So it protects it protects his finisher.
Nobody should be kicking out of the RKO.
Not at least until WrestleMania, at least.
So Randy Orton, his title reign is over, but he's had a good run with the belt, and it's now time that the legend killer becomes the legend. That's a line that I've actually got written for a promo for him for Monday Night Raw, so that's an early spoiler. Yeah, Randy Orton, it's time he moves up in the world, and who better to pass that ballot? What's the word? Baton over to than John Cena, a guy who can take the Intercontinental title and continue to take it from strength to strength. A title that Cena has never won. A huge start to the pay-per-views, Jay.
I mean, wow. It just like, if anything, with John Cena, the way you booked it, it's just worked out. I wouldn't use the word perfection, but it's like the way you build it up. It's just everything's set in place very nicely. And if you're going to if he's getting like the scores he's been getting recently, Cena, so it makes sense that Randy Orton drops it to Cena, because he can go and do his thing, and then Orton can go, as you said, bigger and possibly better things.
Maybe 84. It's a disappointment. Post match, we sell the importance of the title change. Cena is on his knees, holding the title, emotional, and we cut to the ramp where you can see Orton freaking out, Flair elbow dropping his jacket in fury, and Batista just sort of looking on, quietly angry, and that gets us a 99. So clearly, stars here. The match just didn't quite hit the level it could. This is the level that these guys can do, though, with angles, which is great.
You can sometimes get that matches something with feuds, isn't it? It's like the feud is like amazing, and it's like, but then when you get to the match just doesn't live up to what possibly the story going into it is. There might be maybe not. Obviously, the game is not how it's, but maybe that's what happened here. But hey, falls too good. I mean, it's not. Obviously, you expect him better, but it's a kind of match that give that to like a couple more months, and they face off again possibly. Then it would get a better score, I think.
Yeah, it just has to be the right time for these guys. And to be fair to the game, John Cena and Randy Orton in real life has always had great angles, but the matches have never quite clicked. So it's not unrealistic.
No, not really. I mean, to be fair, the Joker's always been with their feud. It's like Dave made it sound like that's their best feud against each other, but it never has been. No. So maybe that's a sign. Maybe the games, whoever's done this, possibly database, I don't know if you can do that. It just has gone, like the stories have always been okay, but the matches haven't been up to scuff.
You can't do that, but I know what you mean. Right, let's move on. Backstage. Well, I mean, we should explain. We were supposed tonight, Stu, to have Chris Jericho versus Christian.
Yes, but unfortunately, they couldn't wait into the match, and obviously, the old. We have like, let's go by like Mark, whoever the commentary said. We must show. We were supposed to have this match, but this is video footage from earlier
today for an 88.
Yeah, so this simple thing is just obviously the reason I've done this obviously because of we've got a lot of matches, so find them on the card. It just shows how stacked our card is that we can't find time for this. But I thought it'd be a cool thing to do. They get like before, like Chris Jericho comes to the arena, and then Christian attacks him, and they have a brawl. But as you said, because it's not in the arena and it's on the streets, it's not security that comes in to break it up. It's the police. It's the cops. So it's like it's because it's on the street. Instead of it being backstage, habit situation is literally in front of the arena. So it's like it's obvious that they get caught in the police and they get arrested basically, and they both get carted away in the police in the back of the police car, and they get taken away arrested for because obviously they're having a fight on the streets, so it should be arrested for it. The only thing is the only thing I can think of that would justify not having this huge match on a pay-per-view, and getting arrested would be up there, wouldn't it?
I think it would be up there. I think you could argue that it would be up there. It's a shame we can't do the match, but I think it's the right call. Before Triple H takes on Lance Storm in a street fight, we are going to have a Triple H promo for 94. This show is started well.
You could say that. I mean, all I say to Triple H is, yeah, good job there. Good job there. It's good to know your mind's on the job. But Triple H with that promo, obviously on the fly. It's basically he's at this point now where he's like he's fed up at Lance Storm. He's fed up of being in his business. He's fed up of him until, and the reason he chose a street fight because obviously the famous one against Mick Foley. So ironically, there's a tease there for something else I don't know, but like I like the idea of him sitting there. Yeah, this is the end of Lance Storm. He's had this great run, but decided street fight. I'm going to end Lance Storm. So yeah, this is gonna Triple H is fed up at Lance Storm, and he wants to get rid of him. So,
but he is uber confident, and will that confidence? Will it see him through? It's his fight. It's a street fight. It's his match. Let's see what he does. Triple H and Lance Storm. We've given this the Wild Brawl. It means it's not as long as other matches. It's only 14 minutes. It's a short sprint of a brawl in a street fight. Triple H and Lance Storm gets an 80.
I expected that when, obviously, just to point out, the problem with this feud is it could be better score-wise matches, but Triple H doesn't like losing. Let's be fair.
I don't know if you can blame Triple H here because he's put in a 95.
So what's the...
Lance Storm 79. It's a harsh night right now on the pay-per-view for the matches. For some reason or another, there are no negatives.
So yeah, so they should at least to get an 85 or an 86. Or at least a high 80. Yeah, but...
It's still good.
Again,
It's still good. We've had good angles throughout the show. The matches haven't quite hit the level, but the finish is another upset for Lance Storm.
I mean, the idea that I put a street fight and he wins in a rollout would probably be the worst thing I could ever put if I did do that.
But I mean, kind of. So I've done flash pinfall here. That's why it's at a roll up. But when you explain your finish, it will make more sense.
Yeah. So basically, what I did here is because I put it's great fight. I literally specifically said a lot of blood. If you're going to do a street fight, it's got to have some blading and all that kind of stuff. It's got to be, especially with Triple H, that's known for being very good at bleeding when it comes to selling. So it makes sense not being there. Obviously, I like the idea that basically Triple H hits not one but two pedigrees, but Lance Storm kicks out just to add to the frustration of Triple H. You know, it's like he can't put this guy away. He's hit two of his finishers. He can't take him out. I like the idea for Lance Storm. Obviously, gets back into it, and obviously he hits Triple H with a sledgehammer. Obviously, a bit of revenge for what he did to him a couple of weeks prior. But then the kind of this one, I kind of might have stipulation might be different, but the way I've done basically the finish I want to do here is basically they're fighting on the stage, and they both fall into the like table below. But as it's obviously, but by pure accident, Lance Storm lands just the right place to go for the pin. Like, you know, Triple H is out, shoulders on the mat. Lance Storm, like, just by circumstance, lands on top of Triple H. Ref puts the pin, because obviously I think that's how the Street Fight rules work, I think. Puts the pin, gets the win. But again, I wanted to put a situation, Triple H didn't want to let lose clean twice. This one's kind of like Lance Storm is just beating him now. Just. That's what I've put. But 80, that's fine. I guess this. I don't think this feud's ever going to get to the heights I would like it to be. I just don't think the game will allow it.
Clearly not. Let's move on, shall we? Back 100 rated segment. Oh, this is a good one. Stuart,
I mean, this one I think because I admit this is obviously not my idea. This is your idea. I think you would do a better job of explaining this one because
So obviously Paul Heyman isn't very happy with the fact that Steve Austin is going to be the special guest enforcer in the US title triple threat match. So he leaves commentary just for a moment. JR's like, "Where are you going? We've got a show. What the hell? What are you doing?" And Paul Heyman's like, just business. Give me a minute. If I may say so, sir, give me a minute." And he goes backstage and he goes to Mick Foley's office. Clearly, Paul Heyman is there to try and talk Mick Foley out of the decision for Steve Austin. But as he walks in, he finds some empty beer cans on the side. I'll use a bit of your idea, Stu.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then the camera pans to, on the settee, Mick Foley and Steve Austin drinking a beer together and laughing. And Austin sees Heyman, comes in and goes, see, I knew. Didn't I tell you, Mick? He'd be in here trying to talk you out of it. And Mick Foley's like, he did tell me that. That's right, he did. And then Austin is drinking some of his beer, and then that allows Heyman to start speaking, and Heyman goes, "Well, let me just tell you," starts talking, and then he's interrupted by Austin's, "What?"
I could imagine it like this. You're literally going to be like, "Oh yeah, this is not a fair what? This isn't what? Stop saying what?" And it's just like the frustration I like to get.
Heyman gets really frustrated, so he turns his body to turn away from Austin and says, "You know what, Mick, I'll talk to you." And Mick just stops, looks at Austin, looks at Heyman, waits for Heyman to start speaking again, and Mick goes, "What?"
It would be such a Mick Foley thing to do because he's just having a good time, isn't he? Just having a good time, Mick.
So think when Foley used to do the rock catchphrases and he'd pop himself, basically. That's what we're going with here. He likes the idea. Yes, I can do the what stuff. Heyman eventually gets fed up of it, walks back to the announce table where he complains to JR about these stupid Texans. Because Austin and Foley Foley's from New York. This stupid Texan Austin drinking beer. How can a general manager get drunk while he's meant to be working on the show? Ridiculous, JR. If I may say, I would never have seen this from Paul Heyman's Smackdown.
I mean, yeah, you could do that, but I like the idea as well as that. JR's like, JR, yeah? Like, it's literally JR's like literally going, what? Just like,
I like the idea of the JR, well, you sit down, and then it looks like we're about to head to another match, and Heyman's going on about it, and JR just quietly goes, what? Just like that, just sneak it in there.
I've literally set up a thing that's like, because Paul Heyman's so good at selling being freaking annoyed. Imagine that's going to follow him everywhere he goes now. Yeah. Like every time he speaks, it's going to be what? And everywhere he walks down the street, he says he orders something on the street. I would love to do a segment like that, but yeah, I couldn't put it better myself.
I'll set you up for it now. 100 rated segment as well, by the way. That's what Three Legends can do. What we got next? I think it's time for the tag team titles to be on the line on the Raw side, the World Tag Team titles. It's TNA and the Filthy Animals looking to take those belts away from Jamie Noble and the Big Show, the Knockout Artist. Stu, can they do it?
Well, I mean, the odds are,
not the odds are against the champions to retain the belt.
And also, we've already got one title change. Got one title change, so maybe
tonight's the night for number 2. The World Tag Team titles on the line. Your winners and still World Tag Team Champions, the Knockout Artist, the Big Show, and Jamie Noble. 78 for a match to bring the crowd down is very good. Considering Kidman's in it with a 64, Noble's in it with a 56, A-Train 67, Big Show and Mysterio carrying it.
I mean, you've got a match set up there. Big Show versus Webber Stuart at some point. You've got to do that match. If they're getting scores like that, imagine what they'll do if they grace each other.
Maybe that's the future. I just think it's a good mid-card match, this. Big Show pins Test for the choke slam. He gets the win. A third defence of the titles for the Knockout Artists, who are slowly coming together now as credible champions because of the Big Show.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically it's basically like any tag team Big Show. It's like Big Show is the one that does all the work, and the other one doesn't. It's like Big Show's the big. I don't want to use the big threat because that'd just be a bit
Big
too
Show
cliche.
is the threat. Jamie Noble is the mouth. That is the idea, and Jamie Noble's confidence must be through the roof or to the moon.
I knew you were going to go there. It just Jamie Noble does feel like the kind of person that can pull off that gimmick.
He does.
He does.
But yeah, good stuff. Better than I expected it to be, considering it was a calm the crowd down match. Okay, what we got next? We are, I think, is it an Edge promo?
I think so. I mean, I'm sure. Again, I'm assuming we did write this down, but we all did it right, just to make sure, because obviously
we didn't. I think it's an Edge promo. Let's go to an Edge promo. Yeah, 87, good promo.
Yeah, simple one here. Just the idea, obviously, asking Edge, why did you do that? Why did you attack Eddie at that contract signing? And yeah, I think Edge. Simple thing, Edge is like, I did warn him. I did warn him. Yeah, I respect the hell out of you, Eddie Guerrero, but what I said, I'll protect you I protect you from other into leading up to the Great American Bash, but when I signed that contract, that time is over. So I took any advantage I could. And yes, I know he's a face, so this is a bit of questionable, but he did say he'll do anything to win the world title. He'll do anything. So if that involves, and he's like, if that involves attacking you at the contract signing, does that mean getting any advantage? I'll do it. It's not, yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, I like the idea of Edge ending his promo saying, you are looking at the next world heavyweight champion, I guarantee it. And getting a bit what's the word, a bit wild-eyed, as we know Edge can do. You get to a point he's getting obsessed, because obviously he's been I like the idea of him being like, he's been away for so long, and that's all he can think about. And obviously, and again, I know what you think this is implying, but I like the idea that I like a face that's got a bit more than just happy to be here. Yeah.
You know,
I like a face that's not just, hugging kids and kissing fat girls. That's as Batista would say.
Oh, that's yourself. So that's a bit of a specific kind of thing.
I do like the idea, though, particularly in this promo, you can have Edge say something along those lines of, do you know when I was sat doing rehab where all I could do was weights, or all I could do was running? What drove me was the fact that I knew I'd be world champion when I got back. That idea of that sort of promo, it's babyface, but it's also obsessive, and it works for Edge right now for what you're going with. 87, really good promo. Our angles tonight have been so good so far. Our matches not so much, but
let's hope some of the other matches we've got coming up can change that trend.
If there's a match that I have the confidence to do it, it's this one. It's two icons of this business. The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Now, Lesnar, as we mentioned on Raw last week, Lesnar, since WrestleMania, hasn't been himself. Lesnar has to find the next big thing. He has to find the man who caused the pain everywhere. There's no chance of him beating The Undertaker without finding that aggressive edge, right? So
yeah, I mean, the only time he beat him was when he had that edge. So
he needs to find it tonight. It's Taker and Lesnar. This is the match I have confidence in. Taker and Lesnar gets a 96. Come on. I knew I had confidence in it. Undertaker 97, Lesnar 92. Very good stuff from two guys that are two of the very best at this time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on, you and Brock versus Taker, I mean, you're going to get a high score. Especially with Taker, it just seems to be, ever since you got Taker on your show, just everything's been elevated. So,
I mean, the fact that these guys can pull off 22 minutes of a match, ending in a double count out and still get a 96. Now, yeah, shoot me for the finish. I didn't want to book a winner between the two. You'll see why as we go forward. But the idea here is these guys are so personal with their fight that it's not about winning a match, it's about beating the hell out of each other. And then when the fight spills through the crowd, that's what's more important. It's not about getting in for the count out, it's about beating the hell out of the guy that you hate. Now, I was going to do a finish, as I got written down here, is that the fight spills to the stage where they fall off it. Of course, Stuart has already done that finish tonight.
Well,
so
I didn't.
no,
to
it's
my
fine. It's fine.
To
We
my
did it.
defence, I didn't know you were going to do
No,
that.
neither did I. Neither did I. So I'm going to change it up. The idea is that they're going to brawl out through the fans to the outside, where it eventually gets broken up by security.
I mean, I've got one idea if you want to use it for that. Instead of going off the stage, to go through the stage. Brock picks up Undertaker and puts him through the stage, and then sparks everywhere, and then that because if you still want to do the finish you want to do, it still has the same impact.
Yeah, maybe that would work. The point is, these guys hate each other so much that the match doesn't matter. It's a draw, but it doesn't matter because it's about beating the hell out of each other. That's going to go forward now. We're going to do something interesting with these two going forward. So I'm intrigued. Good match though. Good match.
I mean, if you can keep that level going for all the other matches you have planned for them, you've got a solid feud there. So good.
Right, where are we going next? I can't remember.
Should we just wing it and just press next and see what happens and just go for it?
There's definitely some sort of promo. I want to say it might even be a promo from John Bradshaw Layfield. There we go for a 92. JBL bringing it, and this is fully confident ego JBL until he sees Brock Lesnar. Okay, yeah, good idea. Goes through the stage, and he's watching on the TV. When he's approached then by Todd Grisham, he says, Brock Lesnar has just... It seems like Brock Lesnar won't be ringside for you. What are you going to do without the man who has backed you up for the past few weeks? And JBL just looks at Todd Grisham and just goes, leave. Angry. The confidence, chink in the armour there, because Brock Lesnar will not be ringside for the main event, which was the idea, basically.
Yeah, but so you're not going to go on the plan.
Not going to plan so far for JBL tonight. 92, good stuff. I think next up we've got the United States Championship on the line in a triple threat match. This should be a big one. RVD defending against two men of the Extreme Alliance, Shelton Benjamin and CM Punk.
We must point out that IVD requested this match, not just to point out that if anyone ever says like, well, two from the same group against us, not fair. It's like RVD picked the match. He's the one that chose it.
But it wasn't fair, so Mick Foley has made sure that it will have a bit of fairness. Stone Cold Steve Austin, RVD's manager or friend or whatever you want to call them, is the enforcer on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, I was very tempted to do a special guest referee, but I think that'd be too on the nose. Yeah. So I think an enforcer works well here. But yeah, so triple threat, RVD, Shelton Benjamin, CM Punk.
We said in the tag team title match, the odds are against the champion retaining. Big Show managed to pull it off because he's the Big Show. Mm. Can Rob Van Dam do the same? Well, let's find out. Your winner, Stu. Yeah.
And still United States champion in Rob Van Dam.
This isn't terrible, actually, looking at the in-ring performances. 82 is pretty good.
I think that's fine. I mean, I wasn't for who levels we're at the moment. That's fine. For these three competitors, it's fine. Yeah. I don't think I was gonna expect. This is kind of what I was expecting, right? I mean, if you look at it from perspective, you got your IC title. What's it got now? 84, was it?
I think got it at 82 as well, actually. So it's better.
So our mid-card titles are doing solid. I guess.
To compare the two, the Intercontinental title match was probably more disappointing than it should be looking at the performances, whereas the US title is probably better than it should be, but it's come to that middle level. Does that make sense, both of them?
Yeah, it makes sense. Again, might be because CM Punk's in it, but again, I really want to push CM Punk, so I thought put him in this. And again, he did get that shock win against RVD. He got that shock win against RVD. That's just not. Yeah, let's just move on about that anyway. But yes, obviously this one is great. It's a great match. A lot of their falls, everyone going to their finisher. I like the idea that obviously CM. I haven't pushed it as much as I would like, but I like the idea that CM Punk and Shelton Benjamin are not getting along. Like, you know, keep trying to pin Van Dam, but one putting each other off. You know, to stop them from doing it, because you would do. It's triple threat, every man for yourself, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, so But anyway, the ending kind of ends with you got RVD going to the top, trying to go for a frog splash. We all forget that Charlie Haas is a part of this group. Terrible book on my part, I apologise. But Charlie Haas come trying to go to the top, tries to hold RVD's leg, trying to stop him from doing the frog splash on. I'm going to say CM Punk, but obviously then Stone Cold Steve Austin does his enforcement roles, and I give you a clue what he does to Charlie Haas. You guessed it, a stunner.
Stunner.
And I'm hoping that he sells it like The Rock, and doesn't sell it like Vince McMahon. Yeah. Just saying. I'm gonna say he's in the middle, a little bit in the middle. But yes, obviously takes him out. Obviously, then Paul Heyman tries to get involved. Obviously, Austin turns on him, and then Paul Heyman's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go back to my commentary booth now. Bye." It's like it would be. It's like coming off the commentary booth, and then Steve Austin would just turn around and he's like, "No, I'm gonna just sit back down and just do my job." Yeah. But and then after that, obviously, no one's there in his way. Frog splash, RVD on we're going to see Punk's going to get the pin. It'd be fine. He can take it. It's a triple threat, so it's fine. Gets the pin, gets the win, and Stu is your United States champion. Stu, I believe six? Was it his average 6 title defenses? But RVD's done really well since he won the US title.
I do like the idea of you're on about Heyman sort of going to sneak, and Austin just turning with that look. And as he does that, the way Heyman could sell it, and he has done it before, is as he freezes, he just lets out this almighty sort of wail, like a ah.
Yeah, and he falls down the floor, and he slowly crawls back to his seat.
Yeah, that's awful. Heyman. Oh, good stuff. 82 post match though. It's time to celebrate, right? Stone Cold and Rob Van Dam share a beer, and Shelton Benjamin's got a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean this. Wow, just wow. I mean, it's quite Austin there.
Working tonight.
They are. But yes, this one obviously another good idea from Carl there. This one, with the post match segment. This one I've put like the idea of basically Benjamin's like talking to Austin, saying, "Why you do that to my friend?" And like, you didn't pin me. I was gonna, if you, I did lose, not that stuff. And I like the idea that Austin's like, and he like does the worst thing where he kind of pushes Austin, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's like, "Oh no, you shouldn't have done that," type thing.
Yeah.
But what you said that's really cool is when that happened, what would you expect to happen?
Well, you'd expect that Stone Cold's got to unleash a can of whoop ass on Shelton Benjamin.
More particularly a nice stunner for his troubles.
Stunner, you'd expect a stunner.
Well, we do get a stunner, but it's RVD that hits the stunner.
Yes.
When you said this one, I was like, it makes sense.
Imagine the pop. And the thing that needs to sell it though, you need Austin to sell it like a whoa, yes, brilliant type thing. Right? You need Austin selling it.
Yeah, because it'd be like, okay, and then he's like sitting there going, okay, for that, get some more beers. It's crazy, but it makes sense because obviously RK Bros, obviously in real life, Matt Riddle hitting the RKO now, isn't he? So it makes sense. But yeah, it would be a huge pop, and when you mentioned it, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. But yeah, so RVD's now still United States champion. He's got a legend that is Stone Cold Steve Austin, the manager. It's all going RVD at the moment, isn't it? So interesting stuff right now.
All going RVD. Now, this was a good example of it. We've had 2 multi-man championship matches, and somehow, some way, both champions have retained. Surely it can't happen a third time. It is a fatal 4-way for the WWE Women's Championship. Trish, the stalwart of the division, defends against Gail Kim, the new potential rising star, against Victoria. Again, a woman with a huge amount of potential. And the former women's champion, Molly Holly. Now, the other ones were triple threats. This is a fatal 4-way, so she's got even less of a chance of retaining her title. Stuart, it's impossible, right? There's just no way. It's too much for Trish.
I mean, to be fair, if only Scott Steiner was here with the maths on that, it's not. Yeah, it's 33% chance, and even then, I don't know. But basically, it's not looking good for Trish. But again, as similar to RVD, she requested this match. She's the one that laid down the challenge.
She wants to show that women's wrestling is the I was going to say the future, but actually, the future of women's wrestling is bright. Can we see it on the pay-per-view? Fatal 4-way, your winner, Stu.
And still, WWE Women's Champion in Trish Stratus for 68. That's for who's involved. Of course, you got Gail Kim. You've got Victoria Molly Holly. That's fine. I think that's really good. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to push it to a 70. Would have been nice. I think it probably would have a little bit if it maybe was just a one-on-one match. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it's. I think it's because you got Gail Kim's getting there slowly. You've got Molly Holly's like a certain level. They're all at a certain level, but no one's yet at the level of Trish Stratus. So it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, this kind of match is kind of. So it's a good match, a lot going on. You got. I like the idea of Victoria helping Gail Kim at times, because obviously the respect is earned. I earned from obviously her actions in that steel cage match, type thing. I like that. Also, you got Gail Kim just showing what she's about, almost getting the win. You know, that kind of stuff. Like Gail Kim comes out of this match. I'm hoping for in this would be to like. She's so good. She's putting these great performances in matches, but she's just missing something to get her to win the title. You know, of win the big matches, right? So, but yeah, kind of. I like the match kind of ends. We've got Holly pulling. Was Gail Kim does, but then you got Molly Holly pulling off Trish, and then obviously just Trish hits her finisher on. I say who I put in here? Did it say Molly Holly? That makes sense. Yeah, hits her finisher Stratisfaction for the win. But yeah, from what you get from this match is Trish has proved why she's that good, and why the women's is really good, and it also shows that Gail Kim is this rising star that we should really keep an eye on.
Okay, well, so far so good for the SmackDown champions. RVD's retained his title. Trish Stratus has retained her title. Let's up the notch. Let's take it up one notch for the World Heavyweight Championship. We already heard from Edge earlier tonight. I wonder what Eddie Guerrero has to say about being attacked at the contract signing. So let's find out with a word from the champion. For a 99.
The idea that Eddie Guerrero can get a 99 just by himself is just outrageous. Like the segments and promos in this show has been absolutely outstanding, right? I mean, hundreds, 99s is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But so obviously Eddie Guerrero was just kind of, I found like the idea like kind of he's kind of annoyed, like really, really like Eddie, Latino heat kind of Eddie Guerrero frustrated. Like, how dare you do that to me? But not as upset as like previous times, you know, because I like the idea of Eddie Guerrero going like kind of respects it, because many moons ago when he was chasing the title many years ago, it's kind of thing he would do that to a champion, try and get the advantage. So he kind of respects it. So I like the idea that obviously he's still annoyed, and he said, you're going to pay for what you did. I respect what you did, but you're going to pay for what you're attacking me. And you think that's going to give you the advantage against me, then you got another thing coming. And so just Eddie Guerrero said, but all this stuff, you're going to hopefully try and bring everything to this match, but it's still not going to be enough, because I'm going to still be your world heavyweight champion. So he kind of respects it, but doesn't mean he's not going to get repercussions for what he did.
So Eddie Guerrero defending his world championship at the Great American Bash 2004.
You could say he's famous for it. He was famous in this pay-per-view on this year. You could say
he was. Will Edge have the same look that JBL had in real life? Let's find out. Your winner, Stu.
And wow, still. I don't know what this happens to me every time when it comes to putting big matches. They just never deliver.
Still world champion Eddie Guerrero. Again, I don't understand. This is very similar to the opening match. 87 from Edge. Eddie 91. Is there any negatives that's brought this down?
I don't get it.
Oh no, the crowd is starting to get burnt out.
Why do I always suffer when it comes to burnout? Why do my matches always suffer?
What does that mean for the main event?
Well, I think it's a guarantee that you've won the match of the month, because this was my only hope. But like,
match of the month is Taker and Brock, by the way.
Oh, this is really frustrating, because it's like I can't seem to get a pay-per-view that lives up, like match that lives up to the expectation we expect. I don't know what I can do. Like, can we shorten the matches? Could we Like, what can I do? It just seems like I can't
the
get.
game didn't like that it was face versus face, which is fair in a lot of ways. Oh, the crowd is starting to get burned out. Is worrying. Look, it's still a good match. Talk us through the finish.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Yeah, I think when the match is said, it would in real life it would be a great match, wouldn't it? Face versus face, Eddie versus it'd be great. But this one, it kind of the finish I want to do is obviously he's trying everything to win Edge, so he even go as far as taking the turnbuckle off, the exposed turnbuckle, and trying to do a situation where he spears Edge, not Edge. I mean, Edge spears Eddie Guerrero into it. So obviously, he's trying everything in the book to try and win. Again, he's a face, but. If there was going to be a feud between these two, and you're going to do a thing like someone's got to kind of play a heel, I have some heel tendencies. Edge would be a better option, wouldn't it? When you think, so obviously the idea I've got here is he tries to do that. Eddie moves out of the way. He hits the exposed turnbuckle, and obviously he's out cold. Eddie goes to the top, hits the frog splash, and gets the win. So like. The story of this match is Edge tried everything, but because he tried everything, it cost him the match because he went too far.
He went too far and it cost him. It's a good finish, actually. Just pointing about the result, this is the start of something for these guys, I think, though. Right? So.
Yeah. I'm hoping... obviously, I've had... The good thing about this is... I don't know. Again, it seems to be the game, just the placing of matches like this.
This is the thing of the game. It's very difficult at times when we've got so much good stuff. I'm worried about the main event now. Before we get to it, Shawn Michaels cuts a promo for a 92. So the angles tonight, all the angles have been amazing. So hopefully the angles carry us. Because I'm worried about his main event. Shawn Michaels says tonight's the night. He's been thinking about this for 2 whole weeks. Tonight's the night that normality is resumed. Because here in Texas, Shawn Michaels will prove, 1, he's the best Texan. 1, he is the great American between him and JBL. And he will get back his WWE Championship. He says JBL, quite frankly, isn't worthy of being champion. Tonight, I prove it. The showstopper proves it. 92, Willie, let's just find out because I'm worried about this main event. Your winner.
Yeah, I know.
And new WWE champion for an 89. Okay, not terrible, but not the level that they have done before. It was a 96 at Judgment Day, remember? So it is low from that. Look, JBL 79, very good. Shawn Michaels 95, not bad. 89 is about right, actually, so we haven't been affected too much. Shawn Michaels wins back the WWE Championship. It's a very short reign for JBL.
Yeah, just stuff. It just seems to be my Manchester affecting my brain. It's so frustrating. Frustrating. Yeah,
short title reign for JBL because it was meant for the shock value. Shawn Michaels gets the title back now. JBL has had a massive boost by being champion. He can now claim himself as a former WWE champion and go after the championship again, potentially. I don't know. First to touch all the corners, Shawn Michaels. Let's talk through the finish of the match itself. Shawn Michaels is super angry here, super emotional and needs to bring the intensity, and he does. But JBL, this is his match. It's a Texas bull rope match. This is all about being the strongest, and JBL is definitely the strongest against Shawn Michaels. Definitely the strongest. Yeah. And I think what is clear is that Shawn Michaels has got heart. But he's heart enough to overcome the strength. Throughout the match, it feels like it's not. JBL destroys the back and the neck of Shawn Michaels, whips him over and over and over again with this bull rope, starts to choke him with the bull rope, and gets 1 corner, and gets 2 corners, gets 3 corners, goes to turn to get the 4th, walks into sweet chin music. The referee waves it off. Michaels slowly gets back to his feet and starts to come back. Shawn Michaels gets the 1st corner, drags JBL to the 2nd corner, drags JBL to the 3rd corner, and turns into the clothesline from hell. Both men can't quite get the job done. But then Shawn Michaels, as he's down, he's being berated by JBL. JBL's talking about how he's a wrestling god, and all Shawn Michaels really is a little pretty boy playboy who he shouldn't even been in this ring back then or now. Shawn Michaels should have stayed with his little kids and his little wife and his little god. But the thing is, JBL says, the thing is, you can run to your god, Shawn Michaels, because the only god that matters is the wrestling god. Me.
He had to mention his god, and he had to mention his family, because I guess that's where this is going.
And obviously, Shawn Michaels, that's when he snaps. He suddenly finds a burst of intensity out of nowhere, and up with a switching music, nails JBL with switching music, drags a lifeless JBL. 1, 2, 3. But Shawn Michaels has learnt. So Shawn Michaels doesn't turn into another clothesline from hell. He turns and hits another sweet chin music.
And then
gets to the fourth one and wins back the WWE Championship. A good end to the show, in theory. 89 isn't terrible. I think it has been affected. Yeah, penalised for a burnt out crowd, so it has been affected. So these guys probably could have put on another 96.
Well, and that Edge match could have got at least an 85, at least.
So we have been burnt out a little bit. We were worried about it. But maybe the women's match wasn't strong enough as a calm the crowd down match, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, and also the triple threat tag team match actually did better than expected. So
it's still a good pay-per-view, really good angled, a really good end to the show with an 89. Let's see what it comes in as. Great American Bash gets 92.
Just the same score as last pay-per-view.
It's not a bad pay-per-view at all. It's a very good pay-per-view, actually. It's still a very good pay-per-view.
It's just a high stat. I think it's because of high stat. We just
can't quite break through at the moment. I think if that gets a better main event, it's our best pay-per-view of the save.
Yeah, I got to be honest, I just can't seem to catch a break with like my big matches, living up to the scores that they get, the performers get. I don't know if it's placement or just obviously the burnout situation. I don't know.
Something was harsh on the matches tonight in general, because Cena and Orton for an 80, it wasn't 84. That should have been doing better. Triple H and Lance Storm 80 should have been doing better, right? The US title is about right, and then
I'm happy with that.
The two main events probably should be better. So the matches themselves were brought down for whatever reason, but look at the angles. Look at all the blue on the angles.
I mean, 99s and the 100s we were getting. It's ridiculous.
99, 91, 99, 88, 94, 100, 87, 96 for the match, 92. Like every angle, am I right? Every angle was blue.
I think it was, yeah.
How the hell? If that's a TV show, my God. It's an amazing pay-per-view. I think it's an amazing pay-per-view. We've been a bit harsh.
Yeah, I think as always with this, it's we have high standards for all our matches and everything we do, like when it comes to the scoring here. So like we get a 92 show, but we're still disappointed.
But what tells you, it's disappointing. But what this does set up is future storylines. So what's going to happen now that Edge couldn't get the job done? What's going to happen that Triple H just can't beat Lance Storm? The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar clearly have unfinished business. John Cena is the new WWE Intercontinental Champion. Where does that leave Randy Orton? And where does that take John Cena? Van Dam has retained his United States Championship, and seemingly his partnership with Steve Austin is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Trish is unstoppable. Can anybody step up? The Knockout Artists seem unstoppable in their division. And in the main event, normality has been restored. JBL is no longer WWE Champion. Shawn Michaels has got the belt back. There are a lot of storyline potential, just as we're hitting a big part of the save. Because next up is King of the Ring, baby. And then it's SummerSlam. This is going to get fun. Yeah, well, we're getting to the second biggest kind of period for WWE normally is when it could come to King of the Ring and SummerSlam. So yeah, and also who doesn't love a good King of the Ring tournament? So I'm looking forward to it. So it should be fun. I can't wait for the King of the Ring tournament because that's going to be interesting to see who we pick
and who's gonna win it. So I'm intrigued.
Let's see. Well, it went well, actually. It went well. It was a good pay-per-view. Not quite our best, but up there with our best. Could have been better. JBL and Shawn Michaels did pull off a 96 at Judgment Day. Not quite this month. Maybe that was the gimmick. Maybe it was the crowd. It is what it is. I've had a good month, and I've enjoyed myself this month with the storylines. We're on a road now to the SummerSlam. Kicking off with the King of the Ring. Monday Night Raw King of the Ring tournament is going to be big. That's for sure. That is for damn sure next week's. Do not miss it. And if you aren't aware, of course, there was no video on Monday. There will be no video on Friday for AEW. We'll be back next week with, hopefully, a full shebang. So let's go to that. Let's enjoy that. Hope you guys have enjoyed your episode. And I'll see you next week. Peace.